So Leon Edwards manages to decision Colby Covington in a very I'm just going to be frank and say it was a very boring fight. Honest to God, the first two rounds, it just looked like Colby Covington did not want to be there. I don't know what was wrong with him. Maybe it was the 2 year layoff that he mentions. But the ironic thing is, he mentions a 2 year layoff, but he's the one that's responsible for that layoff happening because he was the one that was waiting in the sideline for his title shot instead of keeping it active and fighting other fighters. He just allowed his skills to deteriorate for 2 years after the Usman loss. So it's ironic that he says that, or I don't know what it was, but it did not look like it was his night. The energy that he had when he came into the octagon, it looked like he almost acquiesced defeat before he even stepped in there. Leon Edwards just looked very focused. He looked stone cold. Just looking at his body language, he looked like he was there for business. While Colby Covington looked very placid. He looked very like he just didn't want to be there. The first two rounds was very boring. For some reason, Colby Covington, usually in his fights, and I think Joe Rogan and multiple commentators have said this, he's usually one that comes at you. Like he's usually a fighter that literally puts it on you straight away, and he has incredible work rate, he has incredible speed, and he goes for it. But to be honest with you, like in the first two rounds of this particular fight, he kept circling and using lateral movement and going at the back of the side of the octagon. He didn't look like he wanted to be in the center of the ring. Obviously, Leon Edwards took the center of the ring, and his distant management was on point. He has very long reach and is very tall and rangy, so he kept him at the end of his punches, but he was far enough away where he could just dodge the punches. And obviously, the first two rounds was easy pickings for Leon Edwards, who just outpointed him from the back foot. Okay, from that perspective, from a technical perspective, Leon Edwards did everything right. I think the third round is when I think somebody whispered in Colby Covington's ear and said, "Listen, you're losing this fight. You need to take action." And that's what he started to do. He started to take more risks. He tried to wrestle him, and he did. I think he did get him down on the ground for the third round. But Leon Edwards' takedown defense was quite incredible, and he got himself out the sprawl, and he landed a head kick as Colby Covington was on his way out. Then after that, there were several exchanges at the end that they just kept going back and forth, but it didn't acquiesce into anything. For some reason, Colby Covington just could not sustain an attack. He tried wrestling, but he just could not get a takedown. To be fair, one thing I'd say is Leon Edwards' takedown defense was incredible for this fight. He looked good in there. He looked really good in there. Colby Covington just looked flat. Like there was literally nothing there. He just did not look like he wanted to be there, and he did not look right. For whatever reason, he just did not perform. I don't even know what to say. Like it was just a really lackluster performance. He looked flat. He just looked very lackluster and placid, and it was a very boring fight. But towards the end, like one thing maybe Colby Covington could get out of this, I think the last round he did manage to get him on his back, and he was in full mount, and he's trying to. I think Joe Rogan mentioned it from a just from the look of point of view, Colby being on top, it didn't look good for Leon Edwards. But Leon Edwards at that point had such a high lead, like he had such a high front to Colby Covington that there was no way that Colby Covington was gonna manage to get himself back on track after after taking several rounds off. Like he just could not make up the difference just because he made a bit of a valley at the end. It just wasn't going to save it. So, in my opinion, obviously, I think this might be Colby Covington's last chance at the title. He's 35. Obviously, Leon Edwards is 32. He's relatively young. But honest to God, I think with the comments that Dana White made after the fight, where he said Colby Covington looked old and slow, I don't think he's going to get that preferential treatment. He's going to have to do something substantial to get back into the good graces of the UFC brass, because the one thing the UFC do not appreciate is boring performances. And I just think the way, obviously you kind of expect that from Leon Edwards because he's a bit of a sharpshooter, but the fact that Colby looks so flat in there, I think he's going to bear the brunt of it. And also on top of that, before the fight, there was a sentiment going on. Everyone was hating on Colby Covington because he just looked he didn't obviously the comment that he made about Leon Edwards' father and the fact that he said it post fight as well. I think there's a lot of hate going on for Colby at the moment in time because obviously he did that to get into Leon Edwards' head, but it obviously didn't pay dividends in the actual fight because he just looked terrible in there. So they were like, why did he go through that extent of making such a terrible comment if you're not even going to use it to your advantage to actually get something going? It just didn't work. So in my opinion, literally I feel like Colby Covington's going to have to do what he should have done in the past 2 years, and he's going to have to fight several top level contenders if he wants to get a title shot. So he needs to fight the Gilbert Burns of the world. He needs to fight hate to admit it, but he's going to have to fight an animal like Shavkat, who fought on the same card, ironically. But I just don't know if he's going to be able to hang in there with the likes of the Shavkats of the world. Shavkat is hungry. He's got 100% finish rate. Like, he's going to have to beat a legitimate monster and have 2-3 wins on the bounce for him to get another title shot, because that performance was so terrible that I don't know where you can go from there. I just literally don't know where you can go from there. It was just a terrible performance. But tell me what you think below. What do you think about his performance? Was it terrible? Do you think it was as bad? Probably one of the most boring title fights I've ever seen. And it's not that I regret staying up until 4 o'clock in the morning, to 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to watch it. But towards the end, I was actually falling asleep. It just felt terrible. Tell me what you think below. What do you think about his performance, and where do you think Leon Edwards goes from there? You got animals coming up like the aforementioned Shavkat. I think Leon Edwards. Obviously, I think he should give Bilal Muhammad a second shot at the title. He deserves it. I mean, he's earned it more than Colby, and Colby got it. And I think he should fight one of the top contenders like the Shavkats of the world, because I think one of these people deserve like that shot at the title. But to be honest with you, like he's in a very advantageous position right now, and for the longest time the UFC brass have overlooked him, so he deserves his spot at the top. He should enjoy it, and he should have like several world title defenses, even get 1 or 2 easier fights. He's fought the likes of Colby, fought the likes of Usman, and I think this could be his best win to some extent. But yeah, maybe get an easier fight, maybe a lighter touch like a Jeff Neal, or a few more paydays, and then I don't know. I don't know where he goes from there. We've got to see how the welterweight division clears out. But tell me what you think below, and like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace.